Wow, what do you know? It's time for the Pocket Knife Show. Hey, it's Mike on the mic again for the 50th episode of the Pocket Knife Podcast. Yes, I've been doing this for almost a year. Pretty good for a guy with ADHD. Now for today's topic. I've had my CDL with passenger and school bus endorsements for about 7 years now. I got this special license so that I could help drive to and from cross-country meets and help the school with other activities. The head coach of the cross-country team at the time didn't want to sit behind the wheel every week, so she encouraged me to go and get my license. I was terrified at first, but as I adjusted to the length of the vehicle I was maneuvering through traffic, I gained confidence. I enjoy putting my 40-foot yellow and black monstrosity into tight spots now. A brief sidebar. When I went for my driving test, I was nervous. I'd been told horror stories of examiners who regularly failed first-time applicants. Others who had been to the same site I was scheduled to appear at had been rejected. Before I pulled out of the parking lot, my examiner warned, "One hit curb is an automatic fail." No pressure. We headed out into the mean streets of Dodge City. Yes, that Dodge City, the historic Old West town which fictional Marshal Matt Dillon told nefarious outlaws to get the hell out of. I drove wherever my judgmental passenger wanted me to drive. I stopped at railroad tracks. I rounded tight corners. I demonstrated how to drop off kids. I merged into traffic and exited highways. I did not hit a single curb. I passed on my first try. Phew! Immediately after receiving my temporary card, the driver who had accompanied me to the testing site, she and I headed to a nearby restaurant. It was noon and we were hungry for lunch. On the way to Montana Mike's, I hit curbs 3 times. Boy, was I glad that hadn't happened earlier. With several years' experience, I rarely have trouble getting around in any of the school's buses now. I make turns without endangering folks standing on the corner. I may have hit a curb or two early on, but it's a rare thing now. The most daunting thing I've faced as a driver lately is drug testing. I went 5 years, maybe 6, without a single random UA. Then 2020 hit. I was arbitrarily chosen in the first drawing of the school year. No big deal. Answer a few questions, pee in a cup, move on. Then the second quarter's picks were released. I was on the list again. Really? I underwent my 3rd drug test a couple of weeks ago. It's beginning to feel like the system has it out for me. There's only one more chance to catch me doing something I'll never do before the end of the year. I wonder if they'll call me again. Drugs have never been a real temptation to me. I turned down the high marijuana promise the first time I was offered a hit. I turned down the second invitation to take a puff as well. I passed the test. That doesn't mean I've passed every test the devil has put me through. Though I've not given into drug-related temptations, I've given into plenty of other enticements to sin. I've hit plenty of curbs God put in place for my safety and the safety of others. I've driven right over them, and unlike the minor bumps after my driving test, I've hurt people in my sin. My failed tests have harmed relationships. Not too long ago, I noted 2 or 3 passages that suggest the best strategies for dealing with the temptations we face. They offer hope and help. The first is 1 Peter 5, 8, and 9. "Be alert," Peter writes, "and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings." So awareness is the first step. Know that you're going to be tested. It happens to everyone. You are not exempt. Then, when the temptation you're expecting arrives, resist it. Stand firm in your faith. Trust God to help you. He will. More on that in a second. The second passage adds something Peter's words imply, but don't say specifically. Listen to James 4:7. "Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." What a great promise. If we resist, if we stand firm in our faith, the devil, that prowling lion who's looking for somebody to devour, will flee from us. One more short word from God. 1 Corinthians 10:13. "No temptation, no test, has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so you can endure it. Good news. With God's help and His protection, we'll pass the test. We'll escape the snares of the devil. God, we thank You that You will not let us be tempted beyond what we can bear, but that You will always provide a way out. God, help us to trust You and follow You and pass the test. Amen.
Oh no, it's sad, I know we've come to the end of the show.
See you next time.